Introduce myself, I'm Crowe, I'm governance manager within Next. I work across all of our sites within Next and also for the CCGs. So my job is a lot of travelling and office work, etc. Recently I took part in a study around stress and it showed, initially I had a monitor on which showed how much stress I was dealing with during the day and obviously on a night. And it was amazing with these results that I was dealing with high levels of stress continuously. And the other thing that it detailed is that I wasn't really getting good sleep either. So some of the factors which we looked at when I was taking part of this study is what things could be put in place to reduce your stress. And when I first started looking at it, I was thinking, well, what could they do to make a change? And it was quite surprising that there were very easy steps that I could take to reduce my stress levels and my anxiety levels that I was having at some point. Some of the things that they looked at for initiatives to take forward to reduce my stress, one was reducing caffeine. So they showed that I was drinking 10 cups of coffee a day. So one of the recommendations was that I reduce my caffeine levels to 2 cups before 12 o'clock. And obviously this is dependent on everyone as an individual. But what I found with reducing my caffeine is I felt it was keeping me alert during the day, but actually it was affecting me sleep on a night. So when I did start reduce my caffeine to 2 cups a day before 12, I was noticing that I was getting better sleep on a night, and then I was more alert the next day when I was getting up for work, etc. Another initiative that they asked me to look at was around physical activity. So they recommended that I did park runs. So park runs are on a Saturday at 9 o'clock. And they're across the whole of the UK. So wherever you live within the UK, you can get access to these park runs. So if you looked online for them, they're free of charge and they're really good like community runs that people do. So it gets you involved with your community and it gets you up on the morning. So for me, the park runs were a big change to my life, that it made sure that I got up early on a Saturday morning, did the park run, and then I felt energised for the rest of the day. So another point they asked me to look at with reducing stress was alcohol intake. So I would say I didn't really drink too much alcohol, but what they showed me was for every unit that you drink of alcohol, it takes away 1 hour of your good sleep, which I was really surprising. So on a weekend when I was having a bottle of wine, it showed on these results that I had, I think it was 8 hours sleep, or I only had 1 hour of good sleep. So in effect, if you don't have a drink of alcohol, then you're getting a better night's sleep. So one of the recommendations they stated is that only drinking on a Saturday, where before I might have had a drink on a Friday and a Saturday. And I think obviously when it gets to summer months, people might have a glass of wine during the week, but it just showed you that the impacts of alcohol and your sleep, which obviously if you're not getting enough sleep, then has an impact on your working day. Another initiative that they asked me to put in place to reduce my stress was around taking lunchtime breaks. What it showed on these results is that I was in constant stress during the day, and they mentioned something around micro stresses, so when you were getting an email and you're getting a phone call. So there were all these little stresses that you got during the day, and because I wasn't taking a lunch break, I wasn't really recovering from that stress. So when I was taking part in this study, I made sure that I took a lunch break, and the main thing that they said to me was leaving your phone and your technology, etc. So you were removed from your work and you just weren't thinking about work, and you were actually taking that half-hour break just to forget and just talk to colleagues, etc. So I found we're taking them breaks, and it showed on the results as well, is that when I took that half-hour break, that I was recovering for that half an hour, and then you feel better on the afternoon, you feel more energised and you feel more focused because you've took a break away from work. Another thing they mentioned as well around what they call lunchtime buffers, so taking the break, was if you can fit in a walk as well. So I know we don't have much time in your day-to-day work, but where I tried to make a conscious effort was trying to just do like a 10 or 20 minute walk, so it just got you a bit of fresh air. And I think that had an impact as well when you looked at the results. It showed that getting that break did have an impact on my stress levels during work. So there was some of the initiatives that I took part in, and when I looked after I did them initiatives, they then put a monitor back on me, and it showed that they actually worked, and my stress levels reduced quite significantly, and I was getting much better night's sleep as well. So I think a combination of cutting caffeine down, cutting alcohol down, doing physical exercise, which for me were all quite simple tasks that they'd asked me to take part in, had a really big impact on my stress and well-being. And I've been doing that over a few weeks, and it has had a really good benefit. So I'd say to anybody working in next, it's just to look at what things you can put in place to reduce your stress, and they don't have to be major life-changing things. It's just small pointers that you can take to recuperate from your day-to-day demands of your work and your home life, etc.